What is up? It is Andy coming to you on Wildcard Weekend. We got Saturday games, Sunday games, Monday games. I'm going to do a video for the Saturday games, and then I'm going to do another video that's going to have picks for the Sunday and Monday games. So today we're just looking at two games. One's indoor, one's outdoor, and the overarching theme of this weekend is, are you indoor or are you outdoor? Because we got a couple of them indoor, which is nice, comfortable, and then we have a mess of weather in these other games that is drastically going to affect a bunch of the different potential picks. And if you've ever moved, like if you lived in the Northeast or you lived in the Midwest or you lived in one of these states that's about to get cracked with unbelievably terrible weather, and you needed a reminder as to why you did it, just watch the NFL this weekend. You're going to see you and CJ Stroud and nice Flacco comfortable indoors, laughing on the sideline. And then you're going to see Sean McDermott looking like Bill Burr, red, pink-faced, miserable. Going to be colder than the players in Mystery Alaska. I respect you if you know that reference. And just enjoy living in Arizona or Florida or Texas or Nevada, as I was corrected. Allow me to say Nevada. I can say Nevada, but my God, I hate the sound of it. And I also hate the sound of Vegas. Let me say Nevada. Let me say Vegas. And let's go to Nevada for some Area 51 picks. I'm going to guide some of my picks today with that, because when you're dealing with this rusty weather, and not just like semi-rusty, 12 degrees, 4 degrees, people have varying beliefs on how that affects the game. Some people go, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing to me. Some people think, oh, that changes everything. You know, it's a muddy day. It means run the ball every game. Oh, it's snowing. Nobody throws. So I'm going to take the over on rushing attempts. People have varying philosophies. I really don't know where I lie. I think I lie closer, especially with the modern NFL, as to it doesn't mean as much as people think. It definitely plays some sort of part. But I will say this. Show me a guy born in Hawaii who played in Alabama and then Miami, and I want to see him play on a 12-degree day. How many 12-degree days has Tua Tagovailoa played in growing up? All I'm saying is I didn't trust Phillip Rivers in Pittsburgh in January. I notoriously said I'm never trusting the Chargers anywhere in the Northeast in January. They're comfortable all year eating those fish tacos in December. Then they got to go to Pittsburgh and play a playoff game. Nope, I'm always out on. When they went to New England, I would always take New England to crush them. And I can't trust a Hawaiian in Kansas City on a cold day. I just can't. Sorry, Hawaiians. If I'm picking a money line, I know that's not much, but I'm just going to say, if you got some eliminator or something, I am leaning towards, and I like the Kansas City Chiefs at home on the money line. When you think about Mahomes and Andy Reid at home, I think they have 2 losses. The one against Brady, where the offsides nullified the win in overtime, the Tom Brady interception nullified by a guy lined up offsides. And then the other one was the incredible Joe Burrow comeback. But Joe Burrow's an Ohio boy. He came back. Other than that, it's been all wins, including last year where he did beat Burrow. Hobbling around, coming off a high ankle sprain. This guy's done nothing but win at home, especially during the playoffs, against the Hawaiian and a bunch of players who are semi-injured. Got to like Kansas City somewhat in that one, but that's not my favorite pick on the game. You want to know my favorite pick? It's rather weird, but I think Jerick McKinnon had some surgery. He's out for most of the playoffs. We know Isaiah Pacheco, last playoffs, it was the Pacheco Cash Fest. On what? It was, I just kept going, Pacheco receiving, Pacheco receiving, Pacheco receiving. Well, now Pacheco has kind of that starter's role. And the McKinnon role, who gets that? Who gets those dinky little catches and stuff like that? Who gets third and long? Oh, it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. This is something we took when Helaire had to take more snaps in the backfield because of injuries to both McKinnon and Pacheco. But if you think about Pacheco having the shoulder injury, then he missed time with the concussion. Are they really going to play him every single series in a cold game like this on third downs? I think not, as Jan Royce once said. I'm going to go with the over. I couldn't even find the receiving. The receiving's not available, but I was able to find the next best thing, and that's the Clyde Edwards-Helaire over on rushing and receiving, because I do think he's going to see some rushing attempts as well. Unless you think Pacheco is going to get a Kyron Williams-esque workhorse, first down, second down, third down, every single series, we know that Reed doesn't do it. He always rotates somebody in eventually, and especially considering that Pacheco's been banged up in the final quarter of the year. On a cold day like this, if you are on the belief there's going to be a couple extra runs, his rushing total's at 9.5, but I was able to find the rushing and receiving because I almost know he's going to get one or two dinks, checkdowns, design screens. The ones that you previously saw for McKinnon are what you're probably going to see for Hilaire in this game. So that's one that I really like. And outside of that, let's go to Nevada. And we're going to go with some Area 51 picks, and that's going to lead. I use those Area 51 picks sometimes to guide something, because if you start to think, oh my God, the star, they're going to be throwing, well, Area 51 thinks Patrick Mahomes will be throwing. They like the over on his passing attempts. And if you're telling me that you think he's going to be throwing, and it makes sense, this isn't his first go-around. He's played so many cold games in Kansas City, and they've never limited the playbook. They've never said, oh, we have to protect him from himself. No, this isn't one of those situations where they're just handing it off. He's going to be chucking. Area 51 likes it, and if you're telling me he's chucking, and you're telling me that Jalen Ramsey potentially to be matched up against Rashee Rice, and we know the nightmare at the wide receiver position that Kansas City's been dealing with all season, the drops, the lack of productivity, and I'm seeing a number in the 50s for Travis Kelce. I know he's a step slower. I know this is not prime Kelce, but I also know that we're not getting a traditional Travis Kelce line. So you show me Kelce in the 50s, I'll show you a good time. I will take Travis Kelce over on his receiving yardage. Now, we'll go back to Nevada for the next game because they got two picks that I like over there. But for this one, if you want to take a same game parlay to try to get the most out of those picks, here's what we can do. Over 12.5 rushing for Clyde Edwards-Hilaire. Yeah, that's plus money. I swear to you, you could even go 15, 18, and it really starts to go up. But let's play it conservatively. 12.5 rushing for Clyde Edwards-Hilaire. Over 65.5 receiving. So we're going to slightly bump it up for Kelce. And then plus 3.5 for the Kansas City Chiefs, just in case, because it could happen. I mean, they have really good players over there in Miami. Maybe the run game's working. Maybe Kansas City, I mean, they lost to the Raiders a couple weeks back, and now they're the 3 seed because of it. So it's not like they can't lose on their own home field. You just got to bank that with a couple weeks of rest, a couple weeks to prepare, that Mahomes and Reed are going to do it once again at home. But just in case they don't, I think it's a little safer to have them in this same game parlay at plus 3.5, because it would be awful to hit both of those and then miss because the Chiefs lose on a last-second field goal by 3. But now we're covering, so that's what we're going to do for that same game parlay, and that will put us close to plus 500. Now, the other game, weather's not going to be an issue in this one. The only thing that's an issue for me is, wow, interesting matchup. You have Joe Flacco and that whole story are road favorites against CJ Stroud and that unbelievable story. Like, Stroud had so many games earlier in the year that were unbelievable. Like, the comebacks were crazy. He looked fantastic doing it. The passing yardage was insane. They're going to be on their own home field. Tough to predict who's going to win this one. So for games like this, I'm calling them up. Stop working on those aliens and give me some yardage totals. And they like two that you guys know I would like. This is always what I look for in the modern NFL. Easy completions to get your offense going, get the ball out of the quarterback's hand, especially when the defensive line is fresh. They like the over on receiving yardage for Jerome Ford. We've sprinkled some chips on that bet throughout the course of the year. He's a good receiving back. Usually we see it from him early in the game. For whatever reason, Flacco, he throws a couple balls to the running back early. It makes sense, get a couple completions, get the offense moving, get a couple first downs. But we got a pretty low yardage total for him. He's fully healthy, so there should be ample opportunities. I like the over, and Area 51 likes the over on Jerome Ford receiving yards. Now, the other one that's going to require a little convincing of you is the over on Devin Singletary receiving yards, which Area 51 also likes. They liked it last week. I liked it last week. It didn't work out. But of the running back receiving yardage totals that we gave out last weekend, that was the only one that really didn't hit. Whoever's upset with that, I'm sure you weren't upset with the Bijan Robinson receiving receptions, receiving yardage totals, everything. So if at first you don't succeed, as Aaliyah once said, dust yourself off and try it again. You can dust it off and try it again. Try it again. Try it again. So over 10.5 receiving yards for Devin Singletary. And if I'm going to have one pick on this game, I received an unsolicited selfie from a fully grown man wearing a Joe Flacco Browns jersey saying, Andy, you got to give some love to the Browns and Flacco. And I'm not just saying this because I received an unsolicited selfie from a grown man in a mirror wearing a Joe Flacco. It could have been worse. It could have been at the gym. It could have been, you know what it could have been. And that's going to be a weird day if that ever gets sent to me. Hopefully not. But what I will take is the Joe Flacco over 1.5 touchdown passes. If this guy's at the 2-yard line, he doesn't mind. He'll chuck it 3 straight times. They have been so pass-centric. He has been throwing so much. And when you think about the weather conditions, aka non-existent, it's going to be indoor against a defense who you should be able to throw on. This is not like one of the top secondaries in the NFL. Flacco's feeling it. I'm going to go with the over 1.5 receptions for Joe Flacco in that game. You can feel free to mix and match, maybe take an alt receiving for one of those running backs. But other than that, I personally, I don't have a strong sense of that game. I have a little bit better of a feeling betting against a Hawaiian in a very cold environment. How do you like that for a simplistic approach? That's what I have for you for this Wildcard Saturday. I will be giving out another video for the Sunday picks and Monday, so stay tuned for that. That will be available tomorrow. How do you know when it comes out? Very easy. Just subscribe to my YouTube channel here and then click the notifications. New video comes out. Theoretically, if we live in a world where things do what they tell you they're going to do, you'll get a notification. And since I don't put out any spam videos, it's not like you have to worry about seeing my stuff all the time. I assume you want to see it. So maybe you should click that, subscribe to the page here, engage with these videos. The views are going up slightly. That's how life is, ladies and gentlemen. Stop looking for your Mega Millions ticket. It's like the slow YouTube trickle. And hopefully we trickle some earnings Saturday and then Sunday and then maybe a little cherry on top on Monday. All right, guys, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I will see you then.